Hey guys, welcome to my land. You didn't know I own land, did you? 10 acres. It's all mine. This is a saw, and I like to get out here sometimes and saw down trees. Look at that blade. As I was out here today working on my land, I started thinking about something, and I wanted to be real serious about it. And it's stop trying to learn everything so fast. Stop trying to memorize everything so fast. Stop telling yourself that you've got to learn this subject that fast, and you got to read this book and memorize it so fast, and you got to read a book a day, and you got to memorize a book a day, or you got to learn a new language, or you have to learn something, and you have to just do it so fast. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Now that may sound like a weird thing to say coming from a guy who sells memory training and speed reading courses. I mean, isn't a speed reading course how to read faster? It is, but I think there's a time and a place for everything. Here's what I mean. See this saw? This is, when I'm using this, I want to go as fast as possible and just cut down as many tree branches as possible. That's what this is for. It's to go as fast as possible. But if I want to build something that's really, really going to last, like a desk, and in 50 years, I want my kids to have this desk. My grandfather built some bookshelves 60 years ago. Guess what? Those bookshelves are still in my family today. There's a difference between cutting something and just trying to go fast and cut down a bunch of trees. There's a time for that. But there's also when you want to cut some wood and build something that's going to last. There's a saying, measure twice and cut once. Think about that. Measure twice and cut once. What does that mean? That means go slow. Measure out exactly what you want to cut, and then before you cut it, measure it again to make sure, because once you cut it, you're not gonna, if you cut it too short, you can't tape it back on and cut it again. Measure twice, cut once. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. If you really want to learn something and really want to understand it and really want to know it, measure twice and cut once. What does that mean in regards to learning? It means read it through once. Maybe you speed read it through once, just skimming it. And then you close the book and you think about it. You go for a walk. I would go for a walk in my land here and just think about what I learned. And yeah, I'm gonna use my memory training techniques to memorize more of it than I could without. I'm gonna use my speed reading techniques. Memory training and speed reading are tools, just like this saw. You want to get the right tools and the best tools so you can learn as much as you can and do it as fast as you can. But you also want to take your time. You want to build something that lasts. Look at learning as if you are building a library in your brain. And you want to build a library that lasts. My grandfather built bookshelves, and these bookshelves have lasted decades. He passed away 30 years ago, but these bookshelves are still in our family, and it holds knowledge. It holds books. I want you to look at learning the same way. Look at learning like you are building bookshelves in your mind. And if you want to build bookshelves that last decades, in other words, knowledge, if you want to build something beautiful in your mind, you're going to have to slow down. You're going to have to take your time and measure it. Still use memory training, still use speed reading as tools, but also slow down a little bit. Whatever it is you want to learn it, and then think about it. Immerse yourself in it. Go for walks. Take your time. And you may say, well, Ron, I'm a college student. I don't have time to take my time when I'm learning something. I've got to speed right through this. I bet you do have the time, because I bet this weekend you might spend 5 or 6 or 7 hours wasting time doing something, and you could take those 5 or 6 or 7 hours and learn something slow. Learn it the right way. You could spend an hour going for a walk just thinking about what you learned. And I want to say one more thing using this saw analogy. Let's imagine we were having a wood chopping contest right now, and I had a saw and you had a saw. And these saws hadn't been sharpened in years. They were both dull. And we had 1 hour to chop down as many trees as we could. And the judge said, go. And you just started right away, and you started trying to chop down as many trees as you could with that dull saw. But I spent the first 20 minutes not chopping down any trees. I spent the first 20 minutes sharpening my saw. And people would be looking at me like, he's crazy. This is a competition and he hasn't even started. He spent 20 minutes sharpening his saw. Well, then you're still chopping down that first tree maybe because your saw is dull. And then I pass you by, chopping down tree after tree after tree because I have a sharp saw. In regards to learning, you want to take time to sharpen your saw. And in regards to memory, what is that? Well, that's maybe learning memory training or learning speed reading, learning techniques that's going to enable you to go faster and memorize more. And if you follow this channel, you know I'm a big fan of the Mind Palace technique. If you don't know what the Mind Palace technique is, click the link down in the comments. I have another YouTube video on it. Plus, I have a memory course all on the Mind Palace called Black Belt Memory. But I also did a YouTube video on it. I'll put both of those down in the description. So my 2 tips that I want to give you in this video is number 1, slow down. Go slower. Build a desk. Build a bookshelf that's going to last. Measure twice and cut once. Go slow. Focus on the workmanship of your knowledge. Just like you would build a desk, you would craft a desk, and you would focus on the workmanship of that desk. Focus on the workmanship of your knowledge. Imagine this bookshelf in your mind, and everything you know is on that bookshelf. Take your time putting knowledge on that bookshelf, cementing it in, reviewing it. Make sure it goes into your long-term memory, and build this wonderful bookshelf of knowledge in your brain. Slow down. Build something that's going to last. Build knowledge that's going to last and you really understand. And number 2, take time to sharpen your saw. My name is Ron White. I'm a 2-time USA memory champion. I appreciate all the likes. Smash the subscribe button if you want to learn some memory training videos. And down in the description below, I'll put my link to my Black Belt Memory course, which is a full course that explains everything in regards to memory that you need to know, and you can earn a Black Belt in memory. And also, I'll put down some links to my YouTube Mind Palace videos. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're learning right now, and I'll see you on the next video.